Hey, what's going on, everybody? David Noe with Speakeasy HR, presented by Payroll Partners. We're back at it for a brand new episode. And this is one I have been so excited to have with this guest that I am bringing to you all today. Somebody I met last year at a conference, and now we're able to have him on. So, Andre Young, welcome to Speakeasy HR, my friend. How are you today?
Thank you. I am doing fantastic, David. I appreciate being on and you guys listening. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were at a conference last year in Cincinnati, the HR Collaborative, which is coming back again this April, and thrilled to have you back in the mix
Right.
with that event. So we'll talk a little more about that. But you were there as the keynote, and I was there doing a live podcast episode for Speakeasy HR. And you came on, talked for a few minutes about the love languages and the things within the world of the work. And so we had just connected. And after that, I said, "Hey, would love to have you on as a full guest." So here we are almost a year later. And so I've been following some of your work. And so now we get a chance to dive into some interesting tools on leadership. And so for people that don't know you, Andre, or have heard of your background, if you want to share a little bit about what you've been into and kind of
Sure.
what your focus is right now.
Sure. Well, I was 19 years as a mental health therapist. I burnt out year 15, but I said I was there 19. So I often get to tell people I get to help leaders be better and not just busy, to
Yeah.
lead better, to be a better people leader, I'm all about enhancing that communication, the connection, the culture, and results. And I learned it from doing it good in my former career as a mental health therapist, also as a leader, as a therapist, and leading in a mental health organization. But I also learned a lot of what not to do when I did it very poorly. I burnt out of a career that I thought that I would retire from. And I
Yeah.
tell everybody that I was right about every single thing that I was saying during that time.
Mm.
But I was so wrong about how often I was saying it, how I was disconnecting from my people, my team, my passion. And so knowing what to do and what not to do is, and being on both sides of a lot of things has really helped me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've had the chance to hear you live, and you get a crowd going. I'm telling you what, like, when you're at an event and it's early in the morning and people aren't really awake, you get them fired up. And you had some pretty exciting messages that we had talked about last year at the collaborative. And so for those of you who do not know about the HR collaborative, we'll talk a little bit more about it, but I'm going to pull up on the screen the QR code. It's coming up in April in Cincinnati, Ohio. So Andre is one of several going to be there as speaking, and it's a full day event. So if you are in the Cincinnati, tri-state, Midwest region, would love to have you in town for it. It's going to be a great event. Some great breakout speakers, a keynote, and Andre will be wrapping up the day before the happy hour. So if you want to learn more, it's hr-collaborative.org. So take a look at the website, see all the speakers coming in. There's a few local to Cincinnati and some that aren't. So, Andre, you're up in Philadelphia. Is that right?
But I'm from Philly, but about an hour outside of Philly nowadays.
Okay. So Andre's coming in for that event and a few others from out of town that are coming in as well. So take a look at the HR Collaborative. Would love to see you there, and I'll be there to do the podcast live again. So we'll connect there as well. So Andre, when you were growing up, I've got teenagers, trying to figure out what they're going to do after school into this crazy world we have and the workforce that's changing all the time with technology. And when you were younger, what did you want to be
Uh,
as you were going through school?
well, there was two big things when I was young. I wanted to be an artist. All I did was draw and paint. And at 13 years old, I picked up a football and I married it on the spot. I married. I saw one playoff game. I picked up a football, fell in love with it, and all I wanted to do was play in the NFL at that point. So, long story short, I played my senior year of high school. I got earned scholarships to the state schools in PA. Played, and then I was good, but I wasn't great. But I did go to the NFL combines, and I did that stuff there. The scouts with the New England Patriots, I lasted about 5 seconds, and then I went into the mental health field. And then 8 years later, I'm at the gym, and a guy starts saying, "Hey, you look like a football player." I said, "I'm way past that. I appreciate that, but thank you."
Yeah.
And he kept following me around the gym to the point I'm concerned, like, "Sir, leave me alone." And he wound up being a football coach and talked me into training with him for the summer. And I played arena football for one more year, got hurt, and I was done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the sports you can't play your whole life. And
No.
now your son, not that we're gonna talk a lot about, football, but your son is playing and he's gonna be playing in college. Is that correct? You got a scholarship?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He is.
There you
He's a
go.
quarterback, and I couldn't be more
Very
proud of
good.
him. The work he's put in,
Yeah.
and he's better than I was. Like, yeah. So I look at him, his dedication, his effort. I had that, but the talent that he has and the confidence that he plays with, I'm beyond impressed with him.
That's exciting. Well, best of luck to him on all that. So you've been around you've been around a lot of different people and you've traveled and you've spoken in front of groups. So growing up in what you were involved in with mental health and looking back at some of the best advice you've been given,
Mm, mm, mhm.
what stands out to you? What's been the biggest piece of advice you've ever received?
Wow, that is such a great question. The best piece of advice I ever received was from an old boss that I had and mentor. I call him my mentor. I don't know if he thought he was that, but he was. And his name was Dan Nickashire. Loved him, loved this guy. I mean, you talk about an ultimate leader and a boss. I wasn't into that at that time, but I'm looking back, and I would run group therapy sessions. So one day he came and he sat in on one. And at the end, he pulled me to the side and he said, "You did a great job. Like everything that you talked about, how you hit on everything. However, you left one thing out at the end. And at the end, you didn't wrap it up and ask people what their biggest takeaway, what they got from it, something of that nature. I don't know if that was the exact words." And I remember soaking that information in. He said, "People only remember the last thing that you said,
Hmm.
or what you thought was a big takeaway and what you're patting yourself on the back for. You don't know if that's what they got." And David and guys, I'm telling you, to this day, I book in my one-on-ones, my team meetings, my trainings, and even you come to the HR collaborative, you'll see it in there. While I'm speaking, "Hey, what's your biggest takeaway?" When we wrap up, "Hey, what's your biggest takeaway and homework you're going to give yourself?" Because leaders don't waste their epiphanies. So that has stuck with me, and that has worked tremendously as a therapist concluding sessions, as a leadership trainer doing trainings on stages, and it refreshes people in their mind that they got something. They feel the value of it while they're sitting there because they're thinking about it, and you ask them that.
Hmm.
They're walking away, and when somebody asks them about it, they have an answer to give. It's so much magic that comes with that little small tip. It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. And I love asking that question with all the guests. So thanks for sharing all of that. So we are live on LinkedIn and YouTube. It is February 16th, President's Day. So some people might be off work, as it is a holiday for many and kids are off school. So if you are watching live, jump in the chat, add a question, add a message, comment. Would love to hear from those watching live. So the game I play with all the guests, Andre, is the envelope icebreaker game. I don't know if it's world famous yet, but I call it the world famous envelope icebreaker game. So we're going to play that next. If you are ready, let's get into it. All right. So 15 envelopes, 1 through 15. What question or what number are you going to pick? You don't know the question.
Number 7.
Number 7. All right, here we go. Number 7 is, all right, what's a TV show or movie you quote way too often?
Wow. A TV show or a movie that I quote way too often. That's a good one. I haven't thought of that. Oh man, that's an on the spot question. The thing that comes to mind is the Matrix,
Yeah?
uh,
Okay.
and when Neo holds out his hands at the end, and the I forget the officers are shooting at him,
Yeah.
and he just says stop.
Yeah.
The power in that is so simple, but we all have that power to stop ourselves, stopping going a different direction. And it was so simple. Stop.
Yeah. All right. I haven't watched The Matrix in so long. That's one that I haven't heard many people talk about lately, so thanks for bringing that up. All right, one more, envelope, not 7. What do you got?
Number one.
Number 1. I love it. I don't have anybody picking number 1. All right. What's your guilty pleasure that you proudly defend as a must-have in your life? I think I know what you're gonna say, but
My
let's hear.
guilty pleasure. I love butterscotch crimpets. I've
Okay,
attempted to move. I've removed so much sugar out of my diet over the past little bit.
okay.
On Wednesdays and the weekend, I'm going to have my butterscotch crimpets. I'm going to have my cup of coffee with 2 sugars, and that's my guilty pleasure with that. And my other guilty pleasure, my wife laughs at me. She knows what room I'm in based on what's on TV when she puts it on.
Oh, yeah.
So I watch it not as much anymore, but reality TV shows.
Okay.
I loved sociology. I fell in love with that when I was in college. And if you know me, you know I love people. So there's no more people oriented thing than a reality TV show.
Right?
And I get so sometimes I get so much content from watching it. But then at a certain point, when it gets just out of hand with the drama, I got to turn it off. But reality TV shows as well.
There you go. Well, great. Well, thanks for playing. You did not know those questions, so I appreciate you having the, uh the guts to answer those questions honestly. I thought you were gonna say cigars because we just talked
Oh,
about,
they're
cigars.
I love them so much. I don't even see them in the category as guilty.
Okay. All right. See? I learned a little more about you today. So, well, good. Well, a few messages from our presenting sponsor, Payroll Partners, and then we're going to dive into your topic, Andre, and everyone watching. So, the 3 big tools to enhance your leadership. So, hold on for 1 minute and we will be back.
Finding a new employee takes time and money. For one position on a single job board, you could easily spend a minimum of $5 to $10 a day advertising a job post. It's worth noting that the average time it takes to hire a new employee is 36 days. However, it can take longer than that. You could find yourself paying hundreds of dollars a month for a single job board. And if you're using multiple job boards for multiple positions, this could add up to thousands of dollars a month. There is a much simpler and more affordable way of finding the right candidate. At Payroll Partners, we offer an applicant tracking system to help manage your hiring process. Our ATS is customizable, allowing you to decide which days you want to run the job and when to close it so you don't break the bank. And this feature lets you e-blast your network, posting jobs on multiple boards at once, all managed in one location. Payroll Partners, elevating your payroll and HR experience.
We do more than HR, onboarding, applicant tracking. Payroll Partners is your one-stop shop for HR payroll tech. So if you are in the market for new, better service, better technology that fits your business, would love to hear from you. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Would just love to hear about your situation and see if we can maybe help you along the way. So payrollpartners.net. All right, Andre. So I knew you would come with an awesome topic, and we've been kind of exchanging emails and back and forth and figuring out what approach you wanted to have, and hearing some of the messages you've had in our interactions before now. I knew it was going to be something around leadership and kind of things that you have learned along the way. So the 3 big tools to enhance your leadership, that's something we're going to dive into. So you often say leadership is about intentional action, not title.
Yeah.
What does that look like in real life for leaders today?
Well, one, I would say everybody can be a leader no matter where you are in the organization, whether you have a title or you just started yesterday front line. And a big part of being intentional is what I like to call personal leadership. how you, how I, how we all choose to show up to our life, our work, and our relationships in a way that makes people want to follow you.
Mm.
So many times leaders want to start with policy, procedure, and protocol, and there's a place for that. You can't run a business without that. You need that. However, are people doing what you said because you have that title, or are they doing it because they really enjoy and respect how and who you are? And people will do so much more for you and with you and because of you and forgive about some organizational dysfunction when they have a better connection with you. So, personal leadership, how are you actually walking into work or clicking on your virtual calls? So many people walk in, their heads are in their phone, they're not making eye contact, they're gossiping, they're already growling about it being Monday, TGI effing Monday through Thursday. Can you walk in as a leader? I had one boss walk in every day, shoulder slump, dragging her feet and complaining, and then looked at me one day and said, "Hey, I want to get you promoted to be me one day." Uh, no, thank you. If the job makes you look like that, no, thank you. And if the company is okay with you looking like that, no, thank you. So, how do you actually walk in? Head up, eyes up, making eye contact and smiling at people. That please never underestimate the value of your eye contact and your smile.
Mm.
The
Well,
words we choose to use, I call them bully words and what to replace them with. Remove but, try, if, can't, should, just, only out of your language. And then I teach what to replace it with. How about our email etiquette? I'm sure you guys listening, you've received an email from someone and the tone of it made you say, "Who the heck do you think you're talking to?" So even though you might get the job done, you dread the email. Um, our personal leadership in our lives with our kids and our marriages. Why should someone want to be you? If you're on your second heart attack and fourth marriage, it's hard to sell your position. So when people look at you in your life, they're like, I might not like everything that person is telling me to do or decisions that they're making, but I respect how they are and who they are.
mm,
So regardless if you're the CEO or the front line that just started yesterday, we can all do that because that begets more opportunity and connection. And then there's 1,000 other things you could do from a leadership perspective to now effectively lead a team.
well said. That was incredible. Message in the chat. Actually, a relative of mine, my sister. Hey, Dave and Andre. So she's in a master's program for clinical mental health
Oh,
counseling. She's going to be an amazing therapist and just helping impact others, specifically the youth and
oh,
everything. So
wow.
if you have any advice for her,
Yes. Well, hi, Dave, sister. It is very nice to meet you. I had talked before about how to close sessions. Hey, what was your biggest takeaway? Another big thing that I use, and I even use now with my team, with employees, direct reports, and I teach leaders, is how to open it. And we have to make a preface statement. Most of the time, the client or patient that you're working with, you may not be their first therapist. It's rare that you're going to be there first. So being able to start with curiosity and ask, hey, what do you want to get out of working with someone like me?
Hmm.
Because we can't assume that it's a good fit just because you're good and they want to be there, or maybe they don't want to be there. What do you want to get out of it? Have you had a therapist before? What did you like and enjoy about that therapist or those sessions? What didn't you like? What would you fine tune or change?
Hmm.
Okay, this is how I work. You got to know how you work. And when they're smiling, because they're going to smile and nod their head, especially if you're meeting with their family, because 99% of the therapists do not talk like this or have that conversation.
Yeah.
So now, once they're smiling and liking it and all good to go, here's the preface statement. Hey, I know we're bonding right now. We're having a good time, and I'm looking forward to working with you. At some point, I might have to say some things that are hard for you to hear or challenging, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. Is that going to be okay?
Yeah.
No one ever says no. No employee I ever hired, no person nobody ever says no. So now, whether it's 6 minutes from now, 6 days from now, 6 sessions from now, 6 months from now, when something comes up, I get to say, hey, you remember that time when I said I might have to say something that's hard to hear, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't? Just like David is nodding his head right now, so will they.
Yeah.
And then all you have to do is say, are you ready? And you will watch them physically and emotionally brace for impact. And now we can have the difficult conversation, or you can bring your point up. In the workforce, hey, you've been doing great with this. You mentioned this. It's going to be hard for you to get this with this happening. Can you help me to understand what's going on with that? But you preface it early. And I've batted 1,000 in 19 years of therapy and all of these years in leadership with that.
Hmm. Well, I didn't expect her to be on here today. So thanks, Betsy, for coming out and hearing Andre's take on that. So thank you very much for sharing that. That was great. All right. So let's start with the 5 points of your day.
Mm.
What are they, and why is daily structure so critical to both leadership effectiveness and work-life harmony?
Wow. Well, the organizational skills of this, and the 5 points of your day is for the foundation of your personal leadership and your work life harmony. I know that people are busy. You guys listening, you're busy. This is not about time. Everything that I say here, it has very little to do with time. It's about intent and consistency.
Yeah.
So, I'll go through the points. Point number one is what we consume when we wake up in the morning. You want to live a great life. You want great personal leadership. You want to be somebody that is enjoying their life professionally and personally, living the life of their dreams. The foundation, what you consume when you wake up. Most people start the day consuming their emails.
Mm.
Yeah, you're going to get some stuff done, but you know, like I know, that it's quicksand. Whether it's good or bad in there is quicksand, hard to get out. A lot of other people start with the news. I have never watched 10 minutes of the news and felt better about life or the world. Or they start with their phones. Whatever you're going through in life, no one knows you better than your phone. And it's giving you what you want, what you like, and who you are on a constant loop. So be mindful what you're putting in. Is what you're putting in the morning when you wake up to start your day making you bitter or better? So whether you're going to watch motivational videos, my kids watch them go, like I put it on in the car, taking them to school. My 6-year-old speaks differently. You know, we tie our shoes. Oh yeah, we don't quit. We don't give up, right? Like, that's not an accident. You can do that for you too. Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's watching me, Andre Young on You Evolving Now, wherever you want. Is it bitter or better? And then get into your day. Point number 2 is organizing your day. So when you get to where you have chosen to be, whether it's cracking open that laptop or to work, having that list, and my type A people love a list.
Yep.
But the list always wins. The list leaks onto the next page. The list never stops growing. So write your list and experience the joy and crossing things off. But at the top of the page, write wins. WINS. What are your wins going to be for the day? It usually takes me about 15 to 20 things to effectively lead and run my day, but I never have 15 to 20 wins. I usually have 1 to 3.
Yeah.
What's your wins going to be for the day? What's your people's wins for the day when you get to work and ask them? And also organize who the heck you choose to be around when you get to work. As a leader, we say hi to everybody. However, you don't park it and live with everybody. Who are the 3 P's around you? The people that are positive, passionate, and productive. That's your people. Point number 3, relationship building and self-care. At some point during midday, do something for you, whether that's remembering to eat, eating healthy. Now it's time to scroll on your phone or do something fun. Send somebody that Instagram reel that makes you laugh. Send somebody that text too. That person you say you love, the people you say you love, whether it's your significant other, your parent, your kids, a friend. Send a nice text that I was thinking about you. Takes less than 20 seconds. Not only does it make your day, but what it does for you in your mind and sending you back home better. Point number 4, how we return home. As a leader, it is our job to return home the same way you want your employees showing up to work.
Mm.
And most of us return home poorly, or if you're the one getting returned home to, return poorly. Kick open the door, complaining about the day, huffing and puffing, too tired to give everybody that's not in your life on a regular basis the best smile you have, the best fake friendly voice. And we come home and be the worst version. No. Now we have to know what it takes for each of us to achieve that. For me, it is the gym 3 times a week. I go to the gym, I get my second win. I have more energy coming back from the gym than if I don't. And the point is, whatever your thing is, whether it's walking the dog, taking a walk, going to the gym, whatever it is, come back so daggone good and better that people give you permission to go do that thing. I like cigars. I have hobbies. If I come back miserable from them, why would my wife want to stay with our daughter while I'm doing that? Come back so daggone good. I like how you are when you come back from smoking cigars. Go do that thing. The last point is at the end of the night. I do it 5 days a week. You could do it 7 if you like. Ask yourself very quietly, what was my biggest accomplishment of the day? It is such a tiny and small question, but such big impact and so powerful, because most people, and unfortunately so many women, they lay in bed at night and all they can think is all of the things that they didn't get done today and all of the things that they have to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Men, we think it too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you know how much you've won, the wins you've had by this time today whenever you're listening to this? Some people won't even know. Why would they? So answer that question. Your brain is so fast, you're going to have more than one. And then you get to pat yourself on the back for being as fantastic as you are. And if you ask the person sleeping next to you, I guarantee you don't know what they would say. And now you get to hug them and appreciate them for things outside of being only what you need and expect. My wife works in land development, David. She starts talking about her wins. How would I have guessed that?
Yeah.
But now I get to hug her for and say, I'm proud of you. And that's an awesome job for something outside of being my wife and cooking dinner and taking care of the kids. Like she's more than that. And now I get to celebrate that too. So that's the 5 points. Nothing on that list talked about a whole lot of time, did it?
Right. Nope. No. Not at all. So that's one big tool. The next one is about the 5 types of leaders, and you break it out. So what are those 5 types, and why is self-awareness such a game changer once leaders identify their own style?
Right. So to answer in order, the 5 types, I mean, you have the motivator type, number 1. You have the example type. You have the connector type, the visionary, and the intense. So the motivator sounds exactly like what it is. Like some people are very rah-rah, they're super passionate. You might can tell I'm a motivator, so very passionate about what they do. But also you can have a very quiet motivator, like my son as a quarterback. He's not rah-rah, but he's the one that puts his arm around somebody who just messed up, who just dropped a touchdown pass. He's the one that's building on the side. So you have the motivator type. You have the example. The example is just the opposite. They're super quiet. If you follow them around all day, all you would see is them doing their job. Okay? Very quiet, job gets done. You have the connector type, social butterfly, flying all over the office. Like, they know what your family is doing for Thanksgiving. Heck, they might even be invited because they're so social. So that the connector type. Then you have the visionary. These are the people that stand on the mountaintop. They see farther than others. They constantly have a plan. Some may even seem crazy, far-fetched, but they see farther, they want to push. Then you have the intense. Stoic, hard to read, maybe a little gruff. And And people give the intense a bad rap because now I'm gonna work my way back up. The pro, when the intense walks into the room, people straighten up and get to work. Stuff gets done when the intense is around. Okay. But the concern, and this is where self-awareness comes in. If you're the intense, fine. I don't want anybody listening to feel like you need to be something that you're not. When you have self-awareness, you know your pros and concerns, and now you can make adjustments based on who you're speaking with, who you're leading. So if I'm the intense and I know that people straighten up, I also know that they might not be telling me everything. I've told them to come to me with truth and venting, but they may be scared of that. So if I'm the intense, the concern is I may struggle to connect with others. So if I'm going to have a direct report under me, and I might need a connector type because they can tell the connector type, and I just can't fire the connector type just because they tell me things I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
I can also learn what I call the 7 languages of leadership. I don't think we're getting in that today, but know the top 2 professional languages of your people under you, and now I can speak them. Have your one-on-one meetings. So in those meetings, you can speak their language, and now you're not that bad. Because they know they have time coming. They know they can do this. They know that behind closed doors, you're a different type of person. The connector type. The concern is with self-awareness that you could be caught in the friend zone, especially if you are leading your old peers and friends and things like that. So that preface statement with self-awareness says, hey, David, I know with this promotion, things are awkward. I'm a little anxious about it too. We're going to have some great times and we're going to celebrate everything. I might have to say some things to you, which is going to be weird because we work together or I'm now in this position, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. So whether it's questioning things or giving some news, is that going to be okay? It sets a precedent. So now you have to follow through. And when you come, okay, now, because at some point people are going to test you as a connector, what they can get away with. So we have to be ready for that.
Yeah.
If you're the visionary, well, you have great big ideas, but the concern is you typically don't like the small steps of things.
Yeah.
So everybody on this list, if you're a leader, a great leader is all 5 of these types, given who needs it and the situation that calls for it. But we all have a top 2 at our core. I am a motivator visionary. I don't like the small steps of things. So I need to share with people my blueprint. If you send me a 20-page detailed email, I'm not reading it. So we have to have a blueprint of how I want information and how it's going to be easy, easiest for us to be able to work together as the visionary.
Yeah.
And you also have to know enough that you can properly reward your people. You can't operate on solely just bullet points. You got to know the investment your team made in their time, effort, and energy so you could properly reward them when they continuously are pulling off the impossible. If I'm the example type, the concern is people may not approach you because you look too busy. The typical working style of an example type is they're zoned in. And if you imagine an employee putting on blinders and they want to focus on their thing, it's not that they don't like other people, they focus on their thing. And if you're in a leadership position, we don't get to do that for an extended period of time. There's time for deep work, but you cannot wear blinders and effectively lead. So being able to set those one-on-one meetings, and I talk about how we have the one-on-one meetings, how we set them, what's the flow of them. And now people can come and also give the blueprint. And as the motivator, realize I'm a lot. You're a motivator, you're a lot for some people. Some people don't like it, they can't stand it. They don't believe that anybody could be that passionate about what they do. So know that your style isn't for everybody as the motivator. And it doesn't have to be. So when I talk about those 7 languages of leadership, I know the languages of everybody on my team. They will allow you to be your leadership type if you speak their top 2 languages. Do they like goody time? Give them some goodies, whether that's that hoagie day, that pizza day, some snacks. Maybe they want quality minutes, a few minutes of conversation that have nothing to do with work. Maybe they want recognition and affirmation. How? Public or private? Maybe they want knowledge and or advancement. How are you going to help mentor them? They'll let you be all positive and motivating and on their nerves if you're helping them get where they want to go. Maybe they want incentives. Maybe they want flexibility. Maybe they want respect from an email etiquette standpoint and all of these different things. Find out their top two, and they'll let you be how you are.
So when leaders tend to struggle and can't adapt in those kinds of styles, how can leaders really adapt when they are trying to lead teams made up of those different personalities and generations and work expectations? With everything you just had said, what are some tips for leaders to really adapt that style?
Well, one, the most basic thing is you have to want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's with anything. I mean, if you're in any type of professional or relational or personal relationship, do you want to? There are some people that are married to their style. They've been doing it a lot. Or anybody that echoes, well, we've always done it this way, you're going to struggle.
Yep.
Okay. So one, are you open to a new way of doing, thinking, being, and talking? And it doesn't have to be 100%. Maybe you're 10% in. Okay. Well, which 10% you're going to do?
Yeah.
The second part I would really say is know what I call your leaders three. So everybody's on the same page. Before you assess how you're going to be and how you're going to talk to people, does everybody know where they're going?
Yeah.
So what's your vision for your team? Let's get aligned with that. Okay? We will be elite at this. We're going to be the best in the world at this. We're going to be the best in Cincinnati at that, whatever it is. Keep it short, sweet. What's your vision factors? The 3 to 5 things that when you do this consistently, the vision has to come true. That's what we talk about in meetings. That's how we make our yeses powerful and our no's meaningful, because everything's aligned with that.
Yeah.
What are your expectations? Mine is everybody's positive, passionate, and productive. I call it the 3 Ps. Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And then what are your rules? Don't need a lot, but you better have some. Okay. My big rule is please accompany your problem with a suggested solution, and one of these 3 things is going to happen. Okay. So now that you want to, now that you know where you're going and what your yeses and nos are going to be, my big thing is now have the one-on-one meetings.
Yeah.
And then now you can use your style with their need to get traction and maintain traction.
Yeah.
Most leaders most one-on-ones never happen.
Yeah.
Most canceled and rescheduled meeting across all organizations. When they are done, they're either done in a rush or they begin in what I call the middle. The middle is they start with what the company needs, what they need with metrics, as if that person never met it or does meet it, we're not going to want more. We always want more. So you start there, they feel defeated, and then there's never they can never do enough. Like it's not a good meeting anybody really wants to be in.
Yeah.
So I say when you have your meeting, one, let's schedule it out 3 months in advance. So David, if you and I are going to meet, we're going to meet February this time, March this time, April this time. It's in our calendars, right? Let's set aside a half hour, an hour. I know an hour can be intimidating. So come up with a time frame that fits your world. Okay. First meeting, the flow is the positives of the week. I say, David, hey, the first time ever, I'm going to share my positive, because David never may have asked this question before. I'm never going to share my positive first again. But I want to set an example of, hey, my son just got recruited. Personally, my positive, my son just got recruited for college for quarterback. Professionally, I just got asked to speak in Florida today, and we just got snow, so I can't wait to get to Florida. Okay, yeah. So I say, what's yours? I will never go again if David's my direct report. Okay, I will say, what's your positive of the week? The reason I'll never go again is sometimes you as the leader, you make more money. You may, not all the time, you may be living in a different type of bracket. David doesn't want to hear how often I went to Disney or I just got a new car or I just do this. David winds up hating my guts. So if David asks me after, I might share. But David, hey, what's been your positive of the week? Great. Okay. David, point number 2. What do you want to get out of our meeting here today? And just be quiet. Some people are going to say nothing. Okay, great. Others are going to say, hey, I wanted to catch you up on this, or I really wanted to know about that, or, I wanted to, run that. Fantastic. Whatever they say is great. Number 3, now it's time to mesh goals. This is where most people start. Now it's, hey, this is what's on my list. This is what I need. This is where I need you to go or whatever. And by the way, what is on your list of things to do? Because we fail to protect our people because we're ignorant to their list. We forget that they're still doing the details and the process of the thing you asked 3 weeks ago, three one-on-ones ago, plus the favors of their coworkers. So their list may be so long that they're about to burn out and drown, burn out and leave, or burn out and stay. Or their list may be so short that they're going to bore out and leave or bore out and stay. Sometimes when things are smooth, now it's special interest project time. Something they might want to head up and lead. So now we mesh goals. Okay, great. So this is the plan. So over the next week, month, this is what we're doing, right? Confirmation. And then lastly, what was your biggest takeaway from our meeting here today? Let them say something good about it. And I guarantee that you do not know or could guess what they're going to say. Because they say things and you're like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the thing. So that's what I would really say from a leadership standpoint. That would be the flow of what to do.
Yeah. So the last big tool is the leader's blueprint, and you had mentioned it before, and it's a powerful concept. And I really want to figure out and hear what you have in mind when it's so important for leaders to clearly communicate how they like to be approached, how they like to be questioned and challenged. So dive into that a little bit about the leader's blueprint.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite things because it gets left out unintentionally. So a lot of leaders will say, and I've been in trainings where the CEO, we're all sitting in the room with the O's and the C-suite and everybody. And a leader will say, well, I told my people that they can come to me. And I said, well, have you told them how? And So a lot of times we say we have an open door policy. We say that our people can come to us. We want them to share ideas and vent, but we fail to tell them how. And the process is, number 1, what method do you prefer? Are you a knock at the door kind of person? I am ADHD and still have some old connector in me. So if somebody knocks on my door, a 5-minute conversation can easily turn into an hour. That happens 3 times. That's half my day. Now I'm taking work home and I'm doing stuff on the weekends. I don't want to live like that. So for me, my method is please email me. If we are heavily involved in a project, let's use Slack. And then when the project is over, we're off Slack, And so what method do you prefer? Door knock, Slack, email, phone call, text, what do you want? I don't like text. Please don't text my phone. My phone is for my family and my kids, and they text me enough. So it's like I don't want the phone ringing and dinging and chiming while I want to work. Next is the first sentence that your people can say that's going to get your attention. In my professional life, my team knows that they can say, hey, Dre, I have an idea that I think would help with ... I'd like to know what you like about it and if there's anything you would fine tune. You start that, you got me. And whether we have that conversation right now or later, you got me. My kids and my wife know all they have to say is, hey, do you have a second? I will turn the TV off. I will put my feet up. I will get a glass of wine or a heavier drink and a cigar if it's really that deep, and and then I will stop the world from spinning to listen to you. Lastly, please accompany your conversation with other information you think I need to help. So, business wise, how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to save? How much is it going to make? What's the ripple effect? I call it a leader's ripple effect. This idea, what else is it touching in our business? What process is it touching? Who else? What other department is it touching? What's needed? So when you can come with that, if you can say, email me, start with that sentence, and provide this information, we're winning.
Yeah.
And now it's my job to make my yes powerful or my no meaningful if it's aligned in our leaders 3. So everything comes full circle, like as you can see.
Yeah. Wow. So if a leader is listening today and wanted to implement one of these tools immediately, which would you recommend starting with and why?
I would start with the leaders 3 because it's the foundation. It'd be like building a car and not giving it an engine, and then, or sending the car just to drive, but it doesn't know where it's going. So I would start fundamentally with your leaders 3, your vision and vision factors, your expectations and rules. I would be hesitant with the leader 7, those 7 languages. It's a commitment. My assistant, now COO. She's been with me, oh my goodness, 4 years. Her top 2 languages have changed 3 times. I ask everybody on my team once a year. The last thing you want to be doing is speaking someone's old language. So I warn leaders that if you're going to use the 7, you're choosing to use it annually, because it would be like asking somebody what they want and then it changes and you're still doing that old thing. A marriage couldn't even survive like that.
Okay.
So, and then the self-awareness, I do that every day.
Yeah.
Leaders marry what they want to do and give with what their people need most right now. You could do that in your personal life and your professional life. It's hard to lose. But you have to be curious enough to ask. So that's what I would say. Do the leaders 3. Okay. Get curious with your team and have your one-on-one meetings. You could do those 3 things. The traction has to occur. The communication rises. The connection increases. The culture gets better, and your results will be evident.
Yeah. So what about emerging leaders and maybe someone that's not yet a leader in their organization, or if they are a leader and they feel stuck, what would be maybe some final advice you would give them to help them lead with more clarity, intention, and impact?
Yes. My answer to that is simple. It's the greatest question that you can ask somebody else. It's called the Get Great question. What do you need most from me right now? We're stuck, frustrated, irritated, or burnt out typically because we want to continue doing what we used to do. We liked how things were, or how when we started, or we have an idea. And although your idea might be great, it might not be its time. So asking your boss, hey, I want to be great here. And lately I've been feeling like I don't know if what I'm doing is contributing to the way I would like to contribute. But it doesn't mean what I want to give is what you need right now. So what is it that you need most from me right now in my position?
Yeah.
I do not guarantee or promise you're going to hear what you want to hear. I do promise you're going to find out who you work for. One way or another, they're going to say, because the way that you, and I use the word advance in quotes, because advance for some people means a raise, some people means promotion, some people means incentives, some people means work satisfaction. Okay. Take away your boss's pain. There's so many things that cause me pain professionally, and everybody that I hire or outsource and do work with, they take away my pain. So that's what I would find. I would get curious of what they need most from you right now, finding out their pain, and how do you help relieve it as much as possible.
Yeah. No, that is great advice. And I had recently someone had asked me from a culture standpoint, what can you do to make an impact in your culture? And if you are a manager, ask your team, what is it about your job that's making it harder than it should be? And what
Mm,
can I do to
mm,
help support you in that? Because the way you answer that is going to give that leader an idea of what your pain is.
right.
So it's just the way you word those questions and get people engaged in the conversation. So whether you are a leader, whether you're not a leader but want to be a leader, I think there's so many tools that, and we talked about a few, but Andre has a list of tools out there. So if you haven't connected with him on LinkedIn, certainly do that. Check him out at You Evolving Now. Check that QR code out and go to his page. He's got an Ask Andre
Mm.
new tool. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, it's been so fun. So Ask Andre is an AI pocket leadership coach. So when people hear me at conferences or on LinkedIn or social media, or I do trainings at organizations with their leaders, one of my biggest pet peeves when I was a leader in companies is they would finally bring somebody in that you liked, and then they leave, and then poof, there's nothing.
Yeah.
And then for many people, busy will wind up beating everything you learned right out of you anyway. So I said, well, how do we stay around?
Yeah.
How do I stay around? And so my team did a phenomenal job in creating an online program for professional development. But the Ask Andre is an AI chat GPT. So chat GPT, I will never knock. Chat GPT is going to give you a heck of an answer. It's going to give you the world's most popular answer, and sometimes it's going to make up an answer. Ask Andre only, and my team reviews it daily, only pulls from my content.
Hmm.
From my 3 leadership books, the online program, all my speaking engagements, my trainings, my concepts, everything. And the difference will be when you ask it a question, it's going to first ask you in You Evolving Now form, hey, what's your positive of the week first? We don't always want it to be problem based. So whether you come with a problem or you come for some positivity, we want to make sure that everybody's practicing work life harmony and gratitude. And then it says something like, oh, that's really nice that your son or your daughter or you did this. That's really great. It then answers your question in bullet point form, in my tone. And then it asks, would you like a script on how to best talk to that person? Are you ready for activity time, just like in my trainings? Here's some reflection questions based on your ask. So I'm biased, but I love it. I've used it, and I'm like, dang, I'm pretty daggone good. Like I thought, I've had something come up with my team. I put it in, and I had thought about 3 of the ideas, but the 4th didn't come to my mind.
Yeah. No,
So it's been awesome. Thank you.
that's an amazing tool. And I think what people are realizing with these kinds of tools, you can be a better manager, a better leader. It's not going to take away the human element of your
Right.
business. And so being equipped with better tools and resources and people like Andre will help you be better in your job. And hopefully you don't have to use him every day, but if you need him, he's there.
Well,
So
what I like about it, David, to add is that the leaders who do want help mentoring, want to ask a question to get better in a situation or whatever. Well, first they have to seek the person to ask. That person then has to be available. Maybe they're busy. Maybe you're busy. Maybe you don't want to seem like you don't know. Maybe you're in a toxic work environment where there is no help for you, or if you asked, you be labeled, and you don't want to seem like you don't know. Whatever your reason,
right.
to be able to go to something and get it when you want right now, and without having any type of shame, discomfort, frustration, and just go. Whether it's a meeting happening in 10 minutes that you need to prepare for, or if you're at the meeting and you got your phone under the desk or if you're on the weekend preparing for it, like it just really fits the fast pace and sometimes really um, unpleasant work environments that some of us have found ourselves in.
Yeah, absolutely. So Andre is going to be at the HR Collaborative in April. It's going to be here before you know it, April 30th. And it's an all-day event in Cincinnati. Where else are you going to be going to, Andre, over the next few months? Any other places
Oh,
you're going to be traveling?
I'm headed to, this is drivable. So Altoona, PA tomorrow, actually. Then I will be in the Bahamas. So I get
Ooh.
to speak in the Bahamas. How nice is that,
All
right?
right. Well
I'll be
done.
in Indiana. I'll be, so I'll, and Portland. So it's been a fun trip. I can't believe I get to do this for a living and travel the states and eventually Europe. I've done Canada, but I like to get over to Europe. And my oldest daughter is moving to Australia, so
Okay.
getting work there has now become a priority, so I can go visit her.
Okay. Well, Speakeasy HR is global. I have many countries out there listening. So next week's my farthest guest, she's from the Netherlands. So she's going to be coming on next Monday live with me, and I've got a few other global guests on the schedule for the next few months. So if you're going to be in Cincinnati in April, or if you want to come, take a day and learn from people like Andre that'll be part of that list of great speakers. Take a look at hr-collaborative.org. And Andre, I can't wait to have you at the event. Looking forward to it and seeing everyone else there. So I really appreciate your time today. This has been fantastic, and I cannot wait to re-listen to it because I feel like every time I listen to an episode live, but then also go back to it, I always
Mhm.
pick up extra, tips of advice that I didn't the first time around. So really appreciate your time today. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, I had a ball. Thank you so much for having me. You guys listening, I always like to say, what was your biggest takeaway? And put it in your calendar with
Yes.
notifications and alerts. Do not ignore and waste the epiphany.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Andre. Thanks everyone for listening. I really appreciate you coming on. And thanks for my sister Betsy for coming on. Amanda, fantastic conversation. Thank you for all the big takeaways. Is there a replay so I can take a better? Yes, absolutely. So if you go, Amanda, to workdefined.com, that is where you can find all of the episodes, or Speakeasy HR. You can go out there. So, two different ways you can find it. Work Defined is a podcast community that I am a part of as well. So, tons of great content out there beyond Speakeasy HR. So, take a look. I'll be downloading every episode as I do them live. So, later today, I'll be having the on demand version. So, you can definitely go back and listen to it, or go to YouTube and LinkedIn on my account, or Speakeasy HR. So, plenty of ways to find it, and hopefully you can check out new episodes coming up. So thanks to everybody that watched and engaged with us today. Andre, thanks a lot, my friend, and enjoy your next few months, and we'll see you in April live at the HR Collaborative. So till then, we'll see you then, my friend.
All right. Thank you. Take
Take
care,
care,
guys.
everybody.